Dirt Rich Life Vlog 400. It's been 400 days since I've been under his house, and I've resorted to drinking my own pee. Currently under the house because our water cylinder has decided that it doesn't want to work properly anymore, so I'm trying to check the pressure regulator valve and see what's going on. Nothing like your house deciding you got different plans than what you originally planned for the weekend. So, the valve looks alright. I mean, I'm going to replace it anyway. I've had my suspicions about it for the last few years, ever since I redid the plumbing. One thing I didn't notice when I did redo the plumbing is there's no one-way valve on the outlet side of the pressure regulator. So essentially any crap that builds up in the lines in the bottom of the water cylinder can make its way back into the valve. So need to put something like that back in. And then drain the water cylinder and flush it out. Hopefully show you guys how to do that. This was my plan today. Clean this mess up that I have made in our driveway and get our driveway back. But that's going to be tomorrow's mission, I guess. Because it's going to be so cramped under the house, I probably won't be able to record it and show you here. Excuse my sexy pants. But, so basically, main comes in here. That's the inlet. And at the moment, that goes straight to my water cylinder. There's nothing in between this and the water cylinder stopping any crap, any calcium buildup or anything like that, because we have hard water here, making its way back down the line and clogging up this. Oops, I put this upside down too. Clogging this up. So the plan is get under there, disconnect what's there, take out the new one, put this one in. This one-way valve or no return valve will screw onto here, like so. Oh. I have a male to male 20mm adapter that will screw into the one-way valve or no return valve, whichever you want to call it. And then this crocs nut with an olive, brass olive. So essentially this will slide over the current copper piping, or this first. Always put this on first. This over top. Slide your copper piping in there as far as you can. Not too far that you're going to bottom out on the valve, obviously, but, you know, decent amount. And then as you tighten the crocs nut, this olive will crimp and create a seal on the piping. So there's no welding or anything like that needed. And it's a quick fix, I guess, for lack of better words. But always make sure you use your thread tape on your threads. Otherwise you're just going to have more leaks. And also, oops, while doing your thread tapes, always make sure to wind it clockwise so that when you go to screw this on, it chews into it nicely and it doesn't peel it backwards against the way you just wound it around your thread. So the way I do it is tape in this hand, like the reel, and your right hand, other end on this, then on top, clockwise. 4 or 5 turns, and then screw back on. And you should get a good enough seal. You don't want to overdo it that you bung up all your thread and you can't screw whatever you're screwing on properly to create a decent seal. One thing I've found through my experience with plumbing is you got to be a little bit delicate. You can't just torque things on and hope for the best. It's not going to work. You're just going to create more leaks. I went through about 10 olives before I finally figured out that I was the common denominator making the mistakes, not faulty 10 olives in a row. So you got to be gentle with these. All right. So hopefully I can get this done and then maybe show you the finished product when I'm under the house, because it's just a bit of a squeeze right where the water cylinder is. Okay. And that's that done. Ended up replacing this, which was pretty shot. Remember, when you do this, always turn off your mains before you go open anything up, or you cover yourself in water. Replace that. New apex valve. New one-way valve. And ta-da! Okay, next on the to-do list, I want to, for some reason when they installed this, they did not install a blank tap for draining it properly. I'm assuming maybe they just assume people like going under the house with limited space and can just drain it under the house. which is an absolute pain in the bum. Essentially, it just goes straight from the bottom of that, from the floor to the cylinder. That's it. And there's your tap there to stop it from draining when you're doing work on the underneath. Looks like they may have been there at some point, and that's where I'm going to take that off and put my tap in. At some point, we do want to replace this water cylinder anyway and put one of those heat pump ones in, and then this will become storage space. So all this will get ripped out and redone anyway. Those two pipes there go to the chippy or the wood burner. We don't use it anyway. We don't even use our fireplace, really. Ever since we did the insulation in this house, we've done the floor. The exterior walls just got done before we bought the house. Roof's twice over been done. And then we've put double glazing in this house. This house, we only ever have to use the heat pump here to keep the house warm. Granted, down the end of the hall, down the other end of the house, the airflow from the heat pump doesn't get there that well, so we generally have to have a heater down that end, but pretty good, really, compared to some places around the world and in the country at the moment. The standards of living. I love how tasks around the house require me having to get into the tiniest spaces. Ugh. I am 6'4", and I'm not the most nimble guy. Before I undo that nut, I want to clamp this. Because the second I undo that nut, this pipe's going to drop through the floor. And I don't particularly want to go into the house again. Okay, so in my haste, I forgot to press record. So I've undone the bottom one, dropped it down.
Undo the top scroc nut and drop the insert out. Next put the T in. I've pre-thread taped it. I said earlier that you needed to be delicate, but you still need to do things on tight, obviously, to a point. As you can see, I do it mostly with my hand and then finish it off with the wrench. I do want to just say at this point that I'm not a plumber by trade. I'm a D.I.Y, and I do my due diligence. Everyone does their due diligence before a project. Next, put on the thread tape to the T, to the outlet, and then the ball joint. Always make sure you have the ball joint lever sorted before you screw it on. The last thing you want is to have it all set up and go to open up the ball joint and it hits your pipe. Once that's done, I then put on the new male-to-male insert and it's finished.
And all that water damage, God, that looks bad on the camera. So we've removed this. We have this then put in a T and then a ball valve. And then this, so I can attach a garden hose to it. And the purpose of this is so I can flush the water tank, water cylinder, water heater, whatever you want to call it. So one of the first things you do, turn off the power to your water cylinder, or the gas to your water cylinder, isolate the gas, whatever it is. If you don't have an isolation switch there, turn off your fuse or your RCD, flip the switch there. The last thing you need while emptying this out is the element or the burner still going and absolutely frying your cylinder, and also having a hot element as cold water pours in like that. Purpose of flushing your water cylinder, especially houses or areas that have hard water. Hard water is water that's high in mineral content. It builds up over time in your water cylinder. So you got your bottom of your water cylinder, cold water comes in and then settles at the bottom, and then the pressure of everything pushes the hot water to the top, and that's the outlet for the hot water cylinder, comes out the top. So over time, all that minerals and everything settles at the bottom. It reduces the efficiency of your heating because it's blanketing your element or your gas burner or whatever you use. It reduces the capacity of the water cylinder, so you end up running out of hot water a lot quicker, and higher power bills, gas bills, and pressure drops and everything like that. And that's something we're experiencing at the moment. So I've replaced the apex valve, just under suspicion it could be that, as well as flushing. What I'm going to do is flush the cylinder. Essentially, you want to flush your cylinder every 6 months to a year to ensure it runs properly, and then replace your cylinder anywhere from 5 to 10 years. You can push it a bit longer if you do frequent flushes, but I doubt this cylinder in this house has ever been flushed. So we're due replacing it soon anyway, but for now we just need to get it going so we can have a shower. Okay, after you've turned your power off or your gas off, your water cylinder, turn all your taps off, next step is to connect a hose. I'm literally just sold my garden hose from outside, put the fitting on there, and just need to connect it here. I do understand that my situation is a little bit weird, and that some water cylinders, they will actually have their inlet from the mains on the side, and then a drain on the side. That's where you want to connect your hose to. Just check your manual if it's still around. Make sure you're connecting it to the right spot. So after doing this, you want to run your hose outside or to a drain. Essentially the drain, because all this is now gravity fed, your drain needs to be lower than your water cylinder so it can drain out into the drain. And then ideally put your hose into a clear bucket or a white bucket or a clear container so you can watch the water that comes out and monitor it. Drain the whole cylinder till she's fully drained. Let it fill back up with water, drain it again. Keep repeating this cycle until you get all the gunk out. I've seen videos of people using air pressure to pump stuff back in while filling it, and it loosens everything up and gets a lot more crap out. I do not have that luxury, so I'm just going to drain and refill a few times, basically using this the whole time. Drain from this, connect it to my garden hose outside, pump water back in, not full pressure because we have very high pressure mains, but pump it back into the water cylinder and then bring it back out, pump it back in, back out, back in, back out. So I ended up bringing the hose out the back because our property goes down a slope. And I got impatient and waiting with this to drain. So she's pretty much empty now. Now to pump water back into the hot water cylinder. I am being attacked by the dogs. Hello. Hey. You just want the pats. You just want the pats, eh? And next, instead of turning the mains on, water mains to the cylinder, I'm just going to do it through this way. Let's go see. All right. My other phone died. I'm using one of my spare ones to focus on this. It's terrible. So, water's going through. Everything's gone cold now. Unfortunately, the water that did come out into that container was not dirty whatsoever. If I've got a really clean water cylinder, well, the sediment in there is packed so bad. So we'll try again. Turn the cold water off and let it drain out again. And, oh my God, we're actually starting to get somewhere. I don't know why I'm proud that my water's coming out dirty, but we're actually starting to clean some of the crap out of the cylinder. That's what we wanted to see when I first started draining. That's what you normally see when you first start draining a cylinder. Okay guys, that's pretty much as good as I'm going to get. I'm going to do it a couple more times, and I'm going to close the cylinder off, open up the water mains just to clear out a bit of sediment that may have settled in there while we're doing this, and then turn everything back on. Also, if you like what you watch today, please subscribe, like, comment if you want, ask questions, roast me if I've done something wrong, whichever. Cool, bro. Anyway, please like and subscribe.